Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, friends, haters, and good morning, everybody. Okay, so we all see um the update about Ada Jesus. Okay, the comedian that many of us later turn into saga mistress. Okay, because many of you understand that on social media, what normally sells a lot is saga. Okay, saga means that when people are fighting, when people are quarreling, when people are misunderstanding, when people are not doing the real teaching, when people are not doing something that can benefit our community, it sells a lot to black people, to Nigeria people, to African people. That energy of fighting, quarreling sells a lot because we come from a very difficult environment whereby people spend their time fighting, quarreling, negative news, and so on and so forth. And many of us absorb that energy of all the time is going to be negative news, is going to be quarreling, is going to be problematic. If it is not problematic, nobody is going to watch you when you are doing teaching on Facebook, things that will benefit each other daily, every day, for the rest of your life. People won't watch unless you are doing something that is called fighting and saga. Okay, many of you turned that lady to saga mistress, to quarreling and all those stuff. You all supported that, and if let's forget that she started doing saga on Facebook and all, and at the end he spoke about Oduneje. Okay, exposed Oduneje, because all that lady said, I believe it, because she has been with them, she has spent so much time with them, all those stuff. And many of you understand that anything anybody is doing, okay, if the Nollywood actress or all these actors are not involved, it's not going to sell properly, especially when it comes to religion. Okay, because most of the Nollywood actors and actresses, they sell religion better, they sell it better than anybody, and they have spent so many years and time selling religions to African people, brainwashing African people through their films. Because when you watch Nollywood films, it all starts with religion and it ends with religion. Okay, all of you understand that it is either one woman got married and later they went to do juju and the juju backfire, and later they came down with a pastor and the pastor started binding and whatsoever, and at the end of the day the pastor won the battle. Okay, all of you know that for years it's all about that. Okay, so at times it is very difficult for any Nollywood pastor not to help anybody that is selling religion. All this pastor, fake pastor, or hungry pastor, lazy youth that turn themselves to pastor, because it is very easy to make money when you say you are a pastor in Nigeria. Okay, Nollywood have helped us to market this business very well for long. That is why you saw Rita Edochie over there doing what they know how to do best, which is marketing religions to Nigeria people for long. And on this scenario, it's not a surprising thing that we saw her there, because that is what they know how to do better. Most of the Nollywood actors and actresses, their films start with religion, their films end with religion. So it is difficult they don't appear in this type of saga. That is why we see patient, what did they call it, Rita Edochie, talking about, I'm going to follow Odumeje. Nobody can stop me from following Odumeje. That is the part of publicity that she is doing for this Odumeje of a thing. So we saw that before Ada Jesus died, she said a lot of things about Odumeje, which I believe is 185% true, because she has moved with them and she's a popular person. Most of these pastors, they need people that are popular, that can make publicity for them one way or the other. So the publicity continue. Maybe, you know, Ada Jesus is a very young girl, and most of these pastors, when you start to move around with them, the more you enter, the more you see who they really are. Me, I was going to church before for 7 years now. I stopped. And when I was moving with them, I begin to see the fakeness. I begin to see a lot of things that really shock my moral as a natural human being, that I cannot really keep by myself. I saw a lot of things. So when you see Ada Jesus talking, at times when you move with pastors, with time you will understand them. It's abracadabra. The more you look, the more you see, the more you know who they are. That is what it is. So maybe the more she started moving with them, she saw a lot of things that our morals, our values could not hide. So she has to come out and say it, because Ada Jesus saying whatever she's saying, she wanted to save other people. She wanted to help other people, because many of us are very gullible. Many of us are very brainwashed with the religious part of it when it comes to our life. Religion almost dominates almost every part of our life. We can't even have conversations as Nigerians, as Africa, without adding religion into it. And the religious aspect of it almost block every conversation we want to have as a Nigeria. And I recommend you as people that when you want to have any conversation, make sure nobody bring religion into it. Let everybody use their brain to suggest, to say whatever they want to say, without saying it is well, God will do it, and all those stuff. Those are things that block conversation when it comes to us, Africa. So let us put that apart. Maybe that girl said a lot of things that she saw. But we as Nigeria, you know, even from our home, our moms, our dad, when we say the truth, they beat us for the truth. When we say anything that is supposed to be truth, it is a problem in our community, in our homes where we come from. You saying the truth is a problem. Either you are disrespecting, you were talking to this man like this, you were doing like this, you were doing like that. People normally frown when you talk about, when you say the truth. It is either the truth is very disrespectful to us, Africa, or you don't have respect for people when you say the truth. We are not from a community that prime truth. When somebody say the truth, we take it. Many of us have been brainwashed and our brain is not really connecting the dots. Even when we see the truth, we begin to transfer it into religious, into parable, into whatsoever. We don't live on reality. So when many Africans or Nigeria see people that live in reality, they're always offended by the reality of the person. For example, me, it is difficult for me to move with Nigerians because they don't live on their reality. They don't live on their truth. They don't connect with who they are. They want to live it the other way, which is very difficult for anybody or any nation to progress when the truth cannot be said. The truth is bitter in our African community. That is one thing you have to know. You can be killed, you can be scandalized because you say the truth. Even from your home family house, your mom, your dad will be annoyed for you to say the truth. When you say the truth, it is a problem. That is one thing we should know. That is why you see people were like, oh, Ada Jesus was bringing people down, and that Ada Jesus was doing this, Ada Jesus was doing that, because it was the truth. They could not take the red pill that girl was bringing out. They couldn't take it. That is why you see Rita Edochie was pissed off, because she believed that they will do whatever they want to do, that this lady will not come out to expose them. May I still rest in power. But when they saw her talking, and this guy is just barely 23 years, it was like, really? You want to offend elders. You don't dey respect elders. You want to offend us. Don't you know we are senior? Don't you know we are elders? They will come out from that aspect of seniority first. Later, people will join them and all. That is where the conversation block. But the thing that this girl is saying, do anybody investigate it? No. Do anybody really take it upon themselves? Maybe planting a camera, having a detective to move around with all this pastor that is branded fake. Because when somebody accuses somebody of something over here where we live, you see investigative journalists, a lot of people will want to find out the truth. But many of us will not find out the truth. Even when Odumeje was even saying that he did whatever they get, what maybe it was like insinuated that he wanted to attribute the girl illness, the kidney disease to himself, that he was the one that made her to be sick and all those stuff. Many of you even supported it, and many of you are going through the same thing like this lady. Many of you are sick. Many of you cannot find a husband because the community where you come from, most of the men are not marriage material, but you don't see it from that point of view. You see it like it's somebody that is cost you. It's somebody that say you will not get married. It's somebody that say that there will be divorce in your family. It's somebody that cost your family that nobody marries in your family. But you haven't checked out the environment. What amount of statistics of marriageable men lives around you? You haven't checked your aunties, other people's aunties, if they were married. If marriage was promoted in your community, you don't check those statistics. So that is where, when Ada Jesus problem comes up, everybody was like, it was Odumeje, it was Rita that did it, and they were trying to take the glory for it, because we have lived in a community where people do this. When something happens to you or you quarrel with them, they want to attribute things that happen to you. I know naturally our community is a very, very special and a very spiritual one. People do diabolical things. People do things that are bad and all those stuff. But when you know that you have been sick for almost 11 years or 15 years, even before you come to social media, and you have been sick of cancer or of a kidney problem or whatever illness that you have, and you see somebody trying to take glory for your sickness, or this is why you are sick, because I caused you, because I did something, and mostly you see this person is a pastor. Most people, most gullible people will still go to that pastor and want to be part of that church, because a pastor be able to cause illness on somebody. So you have to rush into the church. You believe that they have power. You don't know that the power you run it to get, you have everything within you. But most of you don't know how to tap into all these things, because you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. Even your own pastors cannot even tap into what they have. Everything, they go to the native doctor that they band and cast and do whatever they want to do with it all the time. And you will not see a Chinese film where they are casting their idols or their Buddhists. It's only you people that know how to cast and band. So that is another story for another day. So many of you, after hearing all these things from your pastor, some of you will be clapping, Baba, carry on, Mommy Gio, carry on. At the end, you want to be part of that community. How do you want evil to cease from your community? How do you want kidnappers to cease from your community? How do you want to stop hearing negative news from your community? Because Nigeria, when it comes to us, every news is negative. Even when you come with positive one, they will say, forget, Nigeria will never be better again. Nigeria will not do that again. But who is in Nigeria? It's you and me. Our attitude, what we consume every day, and what we choose to support every day is what is our problem today. Our behavior, our consumerism, what we consume, the behavior we accept every day, whether on social media, whether in our daily lives, whether in our communities, is a problem to all of us, even to our children, that we are raising, if we are not careful. That is why you see 10-year-old boy is a criminal, is a kidnapper, or is working for somebody that is not really helping the community. You people should think. And You see, where these people be able to take the glory again was that our healthcare failed all of us. We don't have a standard free or cheaper healthcare that people can afford. I know people that have kidney problems and all. Many of them got a transplant. Many of them are under medication. Many of them are okay. Okay? But when it comes to a country where people believe in prayer, where people believe in the pastor that is sick himself. This year we have seen so many pastors that have died. Some even slumped in the altar, in that house of God. Many even slumped and died there. And many of us believe that these people can do undo. They can stand our life. They can pray and we can have a husband. For you, many of you that are desperate to have a husband, this man can break generational curses. This man can do this. This man can do that. We attribute a lot of things that are happening to us. These are the same thing that we all contributed to create in our society. It makes us feel uncomfortable, and at the end we will package it and say, this is the person that is causing my misfortune, this is the person that is causing my problem. These same pastors, many of them have diabetes like you. Many of them have high blood pressure. Many of them have the normal illness that most African people normally have as human beings. Most of them have all these things. But because your brain don't connect, you already think that the Jesus that was sold to you, you haven't seen that Jesus, but this is a representation of Jesus. Your pastors are representation of Jesus. Why? Because you don't know who you are. You have never tapped into your own self. That is why you take somebody to represent you. That is why you call them daddy. That is why you call them mommy. That is why you put all your investment in the hands of your pastor. That is why you can go and dash your pastor your car and start walking with barefoot. That is why you can give every valuable things to your pastor to be using. Why you become poor? Because you don't value yourself. You don't value yourself. You've already replaced yourself with these people. Your pastor has every sickness you can think of. Let me tell you. If they think a lie, maybe they go do tests, come and bring and show it on social media. Many of them have all these illness. But you think that you are the worst, that these people have the power to heal you. That is what many of you think about. Many of your pastors go into hiding in the US to treat themselves, which is good hospital. In the UK, in Spain, many of them come for program. They will jump into the hospital fast and get some medical check. Many of them go to Turkey. Many of them go to the hospital, to countries and neighboring countries around that have good medical health care to take care of themselves. Many of them build hospital that you cannot afford because they know that the moment a doctor can give you medicine for your stress, for your diabetes, for your hypertension, for your insomnia, for anything that is happening to you, you won't come to them. The good hospital in Nigeria is a threat to the churches, to the religious aspect of our country. The churches is intimidated. That is why they don't preach to that extent. That is why they build churches. They can't allow you to afford it. They can't make it acceptably for everybody. Because many of your problems are health issues, mental issues. A lot can be done. But when you begin to see voices, when you begin to have so many psychological issues, the pastor will attribute it to spiritual behavior. When a man is not responsible, you as a woman, your pastor will tell you you have a spiritual husband, of which a psychologist can be able, even me, look at this person's behavior, everything, and know who you speaking about. But your pastor will say, this is a spiritual husband. You have a spiritual wife. That is why you cannot marry. That is why your marriage is broken. These people don't want a good health care. Ada Jesus issue for maybe 4 or 5 days that Ada Jesus was in the hospital. Many of you that this thing disturbing me. Many of you that have a conscious mind, you will see that that girl begin to recuperate very fast. The moment she was booked into the hospital, of which many people go to TV Joshua, they will book the hotel, they will book everything, and some of them will not even make it back to their state of origin. They won't make it back. Some of them, before they get to the long queue, some of them might die. Some of them might not even see the pastor. So why do many of you think that these charlatans are very important in our society? Meanwhile, they are creating jobs like the Jesus name is a franchise, like the Mandona, like the Macadona, like the Lide, like the Cotton Glass, like the Arrows, like Dia supermarket. You can go to Dia. I want to open a supermarket of a Dia supermarket. That is what it is now. When one man owns a church, he spread it to everybody with commission. Why do you think that we should continue to support these places? They are all over every community we have. There is more or less 5 or 6 or 10 churches around. Just think about that if these churches are medical, health service, jobs, that is what I see around me every day. Jobs. Every supermarket that creates jobs. If all these places are real jobs and medical health care, how are we going to be sick? And you take somebody to the church and you see how the pastor humiliated her. They even took her as if she's a bag of gari. That is another psychological problem for anybody that can even kill somebody. The way they carried that Jesus on the floor, they were just carrying her like she's a bag of salt or something. Because in the pastor's head, say this one don't die. The family, maybe they are poor. They can't afford that excessive and expensive medical attention for that girl. So the pastor in his own mind, he knows that he can do nothing for that girl. All he wants to do is to bring this girl to the church, and they start that their bragado, they want to boost his ego, that narcissism that most of the Nigeria pastors have, okay? That they want to inflate their ego all the time at the expense of the poor Nigerians, at the expense of people with low self-esteem, low self-worth, because your worth should be very low before your pastor can be tapping your head, and you fall down, and you start to rub all yourself on the floor. Your self-worth should be very, very big, in zero level, like a battery that is in zero, before you can allow that. Your self-worth have to be very, very low before your pastor will tell you, come here, and what is your number? All those nonsense. You should be turning around and leaving him over there in the comment. But all of you contributed in all this bullshit. This is why all these pastors believe that when you are sick, before you can go to the doctor, you have to see them first. They believe that because of the religious brainwashing. And the best way you can remove yourself from this is stop to learn all this bullshit and unlearn new things. Things that will enhance your life. Things that will better your life. Things that will make you feel better. Not guilt, not fear. Because the religion says fear. Nothing than fear. It's all about fear. You see how Odumeje went to the father and tell him that, oh, look, when I finish with you, I will finish with all your family. Who does that? He knows that in the community where we come from, people will consent that behavior. And many of us do this every day. We threaten people. We make people to feel bad. We put fear in people in different aspects and opportunity we have as Nigerians. We know how to bully each other. We know how to prove that I pass you. We have that pathology in us to always make somebody be down while we are up. And we see it in Odimeje the other day in the church. It was like, let me tell you, I will do this, I will do that. And you see, the culprit, Rita Edochie, she was there with her bully too, because most of our women are male identified. Many of them behave like men. Many of our women are tomboys because they can't tap into their feminine energy. They can't be the woman that they were created to be because of the struggle dusties and the struggle people that they normally move around with. You see that woman, she was she wear that a male trouser to threaten a girl of 23 years that could be your own daughter. She was telling her that you will not leave this sickness because they believe that they are Alpha and Omega. And did you see that behavior in every pastor in Nigeria? Yes, they have that narcissism and that behavior in them. That is why they can scam you. They can sleep with your women. They can do anything they want with you, even when you're pregnant. The pastor that wanted to sleep with me when I was 7 months pregnant, I was pastor identified before. I was mayor identified before. But now I don't give a fuck about them. I begin to study the men in our community. That is what you should be doing, so that you won't fall into scams. Study their psychology. Study their pathology. Study their behavior before you start carrying your problem to your pastors that are going to chop you and it will remain bone in your body. You see, the pastor said, I don't care if anything happened to her. Even when I finish with her, I'm going to finish with all the family. So that is the same pastor that will come on Sunday and tell you forgiveness and nonsense. But no wonder, because most of the churches nowadays, they don't preach what they have in the slave book, aka the Bible. They don't preach it. They only talk about what they feel like, the society gossip. Most of the pastors are just like a blogger. They're using direct to brainwash you, because they now understand that a lot of people are beginning to shift out of the Bible and the things that they are supposed to be doing, that the word is turning upside down. So they want to make an evolution around with it, but in the wrong way. They are doing it. Even in our community, when there was no church, there was no criminal, the criminals the way it is now. There was no kidnappers. There was no stealing, killing people in cold-blooded, doing different atrocities. There wasn't in our community. Then when we were growing up, when you see people's mango and they put juju on top, you will pass. You will pass. You won't even want to pick anything from there. But nowadays, people know that the AKA blah, blah, blah pastor and the churches, the Bible, is all everything turned around. And that is where most of the evil is coming out in our community. And many people, because they could not find where to fit into in the society, they cannot be on their own, they cannot create their own space, they cannot be in any space because they don't know who they are. They choose to, okay, you they go church? Yes, I they go church. Which church they go? I they go Christ choosing. Okay, everybody want to feel themselves in a society, in a religion or a church or something. They want to be identified, okay, with a church. Not necessarily that they are doing what they are supposed to be doing as people, as human, as a society, as a person. They just want to fit in. When you choose not to fit in, is a problem. It is a problem. They demonize you. They make you look bad. They say you are speaking against God. No. Before any God, you should come first. Before any pastor, you should come first. When you begin to put yourself first, you won't take your holy car to the pastor. When you begin to put yourself first, you won't allow the pastor to sleep with your wife and you keep quiet. You don't get him arrested. When the people begin to put themselves first, the government will create law that will regulate the churches in Nigeria. There will be very few quarters of church in every community so that people can be able to think properly, so that people can be able to work. Because too many laziness in our community is attributed to religion. People don't want to work because they are waiting for God to come and repair the roads. They are waiting for God to come and build their healthcare system. They are waiting for God to come and do everything practically for them. And at the end of the day, the problem is the government. Yeah, the problem is the government. When you are a rich one man, the man have a private jet, fleets of private jets, he have cars, he has everything. Just imagine, we have people like that over here. You know what they are doing? They own companies. They build companies, big companies in the community where I live now. People have companies. And you know who goes there? The people in the community create jobs for them. They create schools for them. They put their children in the school. That is another spiritual thing that most of the pastors are doing in our community. The churches in your community, at times I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak. The churches you are seeing in your community, the church community today is your business, is your fabrica, where many of you are supposed to be working if your brains are connecting. But because it does not connect, you choose to take all the whole money in the community and give it to just one man, aka pastor, prophet, pastor. If that money was being given to one man, intelligent man, no greedy man in a community, it can build schools. You don't necessarily need to think about if you're in worry. You don't need to think about what is happening in Yenogua or Bini. You have to think about your community, the well-being, the quality of life that you are living in your community. Is there a good health care? The doctor, everybody know them. The nurses, they stay within all of you. You create that world for yourself. Criminals can't stay in your community. But the churches, some of the churches is where most of the criminals keep their guns, because those are places that you will never think that those things can exist. Most of the pastors are criminals by themselves. So you create that society for yourself. But what do you people do? Your fabrica, your businesses, your brain, you gave everything to the church. You gave it to the pastor to be manipulating, to be enjoying. One man wealth cannot benefit the society. But when everybody is financially stable, it's fine for everybody. I can sleep in peace. You can't come to my house to break in. You people can be doing baba or you sleeping down for rich men. That is another pathology many of you have. But how much is it going to give any of you that are sleeping on the floor for this men? Maybe 5,000, maybe 50,000, maybe 1 million. How many days are you going to spend this money? Are you going to come back to be poor again? Yes. So, why not build your community with good hospital? After seeing this Ada Jesus issue, how she progressed very fast after she was checked into the hospital. You see the difference between prayers. That is why when I see so many things like, somebody just did an IVF, a partner that has been looking for a child, they did an IVF and they have multiple babies, 6 babies. Who am I going to thank first? Ask me. On my comment section, I'm going to put, thank the doctor and the partners that have money to finance their IVF. Because If these people don't have money, there is doctor. They don't have the courage. Many people are brainwashed by religion, like, I can't have a IVF, I want it raw, I want it natural. But when you can't do it natural and you can do it medically and still get the same result, why do you want to allow religion to tie you down, to shortchange you what you really desire? You have to put yourself first in everything you're doing, because the people that brought religion to us, their life is better. They made everything easier for them before they took what they don't consume. They took it to you in Africa. And those things are not disturbing them, are not causing any hindrance to them. And you want to really believe all those stuff that because they said you should make a conception of babies through natural sex, that is how you should have your baby. If you can't do it that way, so you are going to stay without a child, even if you desire to have one. Don't you see? It is all hindrance on your own side. It is not beneficial to you. That is why you as African person, African man, African woman, you have to do what benefits you. Forget about this religious stuff of it. The religion, the God is in all of us, if you know who you are. Okay? That is why we live on materialism. It's all about material things. That is why you see the death age of us Africans is very short. Because we don't know who we are. We don't tap into who we are. People dying 50-something years because they choose to live the wrong way. They choose to do things in the opposite side. They choose to look at other people to live their lives when they have a life full of abundance. They choose to live it in a miserable way. They choose to make their life difficult. They choose to sabotage their own self with the little or the plenty resources we have as Africans. We choose to sabotage ourselves. The pastor that told you, is in the Bible that you should have your baby and through natural sex. When pastor will say 1 year, 2 years, he cannot have a baby. It will go to the US, can go to the UK, it can go to the Turkey and fertilize the baby, IVF, and have triplets, fourplets, sixplets, and come back and start dancing. Hey, my God is good, oh. He will start dancing. That everything is double. Who did that? The medical, the doctors, okay? There are so many things that you don't need to be told to do. There are so many things that you don't need to be told to do. And that same Odumeje that you people see that was ranting around, if Odumeje posed that power to touch Ada Jesus and she will be fine, he would have done it. Odumeje would have done that to show for una say he not be fake. And he knows that if he do something like that, he will have a lot of clients. But because he says that he not get any power, and this guy already have kidney problem, and kidney problem is a very, very difficult health issue. It affects a lot of organs and a lot of things in your body. Imagine when your body system is weakened, is failing, blood is not flowing properly. A lot of things is happening to your body. How can you sit down? How can you stand? You will be weak. It doesn't have to be that somebody caused you. Somebody was talking about spiritual cancer, spiritual whatever. You people should be guided. We know there are things that are bad in our community. There are diabolical things, but you people should be guided. This man already is in public. So when you are public, you can't shut people not to talk about you. That is one thing you know. That is why when you go cursing, when you go and doing whatever you want to do, it won't work because you are already in public. You are not a private person. Imagine CNN talk about Odumeje Odumeje, are you going, or CNN investigate you and they find some disturbing things about you? Are you going to, excuse me, hola? Sí, dime. Sí, me han contado. Vale, ya lo tengo. Vale, voy a buscarlo. Vale, sí, 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 me he enterado. Sí, sí, no ha ido. Bueno, pásale. Hello? Hello, I have a call. I will call you back. I'm on call. I get on call. I'll call you. Call time for that side. May not call this call. Okay. Okay. Back again. Okay. If, as I talked before, that if Odumeje have the power to prove to us that this girl will be healed, he knows that many mugus, many customers will follow him because he's a businessman. He knows, because why I call him a businessman is that there is exchange of money in that building already. So it's business. So if he knew that he could do it, like the one that they were doing when we were small that time, they will bring Rena Bonki, they will go and bring all the wheelchair people, and at the end, you see, they take these people, bring these people with the wheelchair, and they are taking them back. I will start imagine. That was when I started investigating on my head about these people. See, bad. You know I know the sea fish. Hey, you know I know the sea fish. Are you crazy? ¿Qué tal, cariño? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? Vale. Te voy a ir a buscar eso, ¿vale? Dime. ¿Tú has mirado? Vale, voy a mirar. ¿Tiene algo concreto? Bueno, voy a... ¿Qué? Pues dile. Yo creo que también, porque no había, yo creo que no había suficiente. Y alguno ya se ha quedado pequeña, ¿no? Bueno, dile, ¿vale? Para que luego no lo trae y no te vale, ¿no? Man. Venga, te quiero mucho. Awo. So, you know, most of our people, they want to show that power. That is what we have been saying all the time. Power. Who get power? Pass. That pastor, they walk. That pastor, na pastor fire, na pastor waiting call. That is what we want to see. If these people could have done what the hospital did for that day, those 3 or 4 or 5 days that Jesus was in the hospital, they would have done it. But there is nothing like magic. There is nothing like magic when it comes to health issue, when it comes to life, everything in general. There's nothing very fast that you will do very fast and you get a result that will be more tranquilo for you for the rest of your life. Anything that is fast, anything that is fast. I notice Nigerians are in the fast lane in everything, everything they do, they are in the fast lane. I noticed when I even went to Nigeria the other day, everything's like I said, no wonder. When they say, una fit take una mama do ritual, una fit take anybody, small pikin, can't even play outside again. Una fit take anything, do find money. I was like, just sitting down watching them. So, this pastor, they know what, they have already understand many people psychologically, what you consume, what you like to consume. When it comes to publicity, before they do publicity in Europe, they have already understand the behavior of people, what they consume. If you want to open a business, how much people spend, days they spend money, things like that, they have already read it. But this same pastor do the same thing. They know what you people like to consume. If Odumeje could have touched this girl and she's okay, all of you will start packing yourself to that church. But it was impossible because him himself don't even have power to do all those stuff. But because many of you have carried your pastor to the level that they cannot afford to fall down, they will do anything to protect that level that you people have placed them. All of you are guilty of this. Even what Odumeje was doing in the altar, all of you do it every day. I say it. You will have problem with somebody will talk to you with your mouth. You will go and poison them. You will go and do juju on them. Waiting. Why are we so hot-tempered in everything that we do? Why? Somebody will talk with their mouth. You want to send them to 6 feet. Why are we so wicked? And this is a country where there is churches all over everywhere. You people are going to church just to show socially that you attend church. Me, I don't attend church. I don't give a fuck. I don't go to church. I don't want to go to church. I don't want to. All of you just want to be associated, want to be fit into a place so that you can, when you are doing your evil, people will not understand that this one and they do this thing. No. That one where they carry Bible. Somebody stole my money the other time. 2,600 euros from my wallet. When I was saying that this person steal my money or she left something that I left for her, she left and allowed somebody to steal my wallet, people were telling me that that lady that used to pray in our church, that lady that used to knock leg for ground, that lady, she's a prayer warrior. So do you want to tell me that because she's a prayer warrior, she can't take somebody's money? That is where the misconception come into it. Don't allow people to mask themselves. See people for who they are. When you see something, stop saying that is parable. You people don't understand. So if you people don't understand, let us start doing operation for all of your brain so that we remove them. We know you don't have brain. You start to live by parable or by what your pastor says, because many of you, before you enter church, you will carry your brain and drop it in outside. And when you come outside, it's where you want to claim right. You can't be inside the church and challenge your pastor when you see things that are wrong. You clapping for them. Your pastor will slap a little girl. Hey, daddy, carry on. Daddy, carry on. And when the trauma of that child being slapped publicly, being humiliated publicly, comes back to haunt all of us, we begin to complain. When we are the people that are consuming this bull airs, We consume it every day. Where they were carrying that girl like a piece of rag, all of you were there. All of you have children, you have adolescents, you have girls. Will you allow your daughter to be carried that way? Will you allow your child to be carried that way? Even most of this video go internationally. Most of this video go viral. People see how we treat ourselves, and we expect people to treat us better than that. No, that is a lie. We allow other people, whether internationally or our neighbors, to treat us better than the way that Jesus was carried. We see how police brutalize our women, beat us up, fight us as if we are men, push us. They don't respect us anywhere because we don't respect ourselves. Before we ask of respect, we have to put some dignity into our lives. And the dignity has to start from the fucking church. That place that all of you go every Sunday when you are supposed to be working. That is supposed to be your fabrica. When people are gathered in mass like that in a country where they say there is no job, there is no money, it should be working forces, not clapping forces and you making noise. That is another acoustic pollution in our society, in our environment. You sing, you clap, you disturb people that are supposed to be sleeping. And at the end, they end up with insomnia. They can't sleep. They are psychologically disturbed. And your pastor will say, nah, causes. No, it's not causes because they couldn't sleep properly. They can't be able to mentalize. They can't be able to think. That is where the problem is. There are a lot of people that are psychologically damaged by religion because they can't think about themselves, but about Jesus, about whatever. I think about myself. I better myself. I see where my mistake is. I see where I'm not doing better. I fix it up every day. I don't wait for Jesus to fix it up. If I'm sick, I go to hospital. If I die, I die. Not because I spoke about any daddy, any sky daddy, or any pastor, or about any churches, or about any God. Okay? Get that into your thin brain. Because all of you have been scanned by all these people. You will go to all these pastors, now that there is coronavirus, and many of them now run into social media. They will start doing the abracadabra. You see all these ladies sending them message, mommy, send me your number. Mommy, I cannot find a husband. Mommy, I cannot. Did you people build up the men in the society to be marriageable? A man that can have a wife and a side chick, don't you know that that marriage, the days of that marriage is numbered? That man is not focused. Don't you think that in a society where the women are a problem to another women, don't you think that that marriage, the days are numbered? A society where men can do whatever they feel like doing without thinking about the consequences, don't you think that the days of marriages is numbered in that community, that women are prone to be single mothers? A society where one man can pregnate 15, 10, 6 women. So, what do you want this woman to tell you? A society where bad behavior are validated. Where did you think you're going to get a marriageable man, and you think that the problem is your family tree or is an ancestral causes? A community where they say man fit do whatever he want to. Man can have children whenever he want and whenever he feel like, when he can't even have the financial ability to take care of only himself as a human. These women, these people, this community validated them for destruction, that they can do whatever they feel like, that they can't get accountability, they can't be dragged, they can't, nothing. So, you don't need to ask mommy for anything. The question is within your own self. Okay? A community where men choose not to take care of their children, where they disappear whenever they want to disappear and come back whenever they want to come back. And you asking question why you can't find a husband. Who is the husband that you built in your community? That is the question. A community where women fight other women and take away the excuse and the man's bad behavior. And you think you can find a good husband? A community where mothers are training the girls with a hand of iron, while their boys are useless. They can be criminals, they can be problematic to the society. And you asking mommy, why you can't find a husband? Girl, you have all the question within yourself. Stop bothering all these pastors and all this lady, wig, makeup, and nothing on the brain, that choose to be your pastor, that choose to exploit all of you. Think very properly. Enough is enough of most of your desperation. You have all the question within yourself, within your environment. The environment you create, what all of you choose to consume, is what we see every day. Even in this Odumeje case, not until we start to build education, we start to prime education, we start to prime medical, our life, our well-being, we start to put it at the forefront instead of any garden church. That is when we can be able to get quality life and behavior of treating people like animals in the church. Over here in Europe, you can't do that nonsense in any churches. You can't. Ask them now if they do all those miracles. Ask them. They can't do it. Because people, they have already arranged how they want to be seen, how they want to be perceived internationally by anybody. Is the way people see you, that is how they will treat you. Do you see Indians in India beat up our women, beat up our girls? So what are we going to see when they see one pastor hold them like this, is dragging them around? Why can't they give you a chokehold? Why? When we have showed them that that is what we are good in, taking as women. So come on. Let me stop this video, okay? I'm going to do other things for myself. I love you all. Bye-bye, everyone, okay? If you want to follow me, go to my page, Shine Your Eye. That is me there, and this is my Facebook. I love you, everybody. Don't be scared, okay? Bye.